Hi, I'm Penny Dix, Astro Coach, and welcome to tonight's little extra because I hadn't planned to do this, but a couple of days ago I thought I really should give you the inside info on the current astrological energies for the forthcoming summer solstice that takes place on Monday, June the 21st. Now, before I start talking about the energies for that, I just want to do the business bit at this point and say that if you would like to have a one-to-one with me for astro coaching, I would really love to meet with you. So you can find my website address and you can contact me through Facebook in the description box with this video. Also, I have a really big ask because, you know, it's the summer solstice and we can make a wish. I've decided we can make a wish. Well, my wish for the summer solstice is to start doing live streams on YouTube. But I need 1,000 subscribers to my channel. Now I have over 1,000 followers for my Facebook Penny Dix Astro Coach page. So my wish is that perhaps you would actually subscribe to my YouTube channel. That'd be super cool and I'd really appreciate it. Thank you so much in advance. But now, let's get on to what the energies of this particular point in time, because when we have an event like the summer solstice, it actually gives us a point in time astrologically. Now, what does that mean? Well, what it means is that we have this, it's like between now and the autumn equinox, we have this quarter, if you like, of the astrological year, which the energy that we have for Monday the 21st, when the sun moves into Cancer, which is the actual solstice, it gives us an indication of what we can expect energetically for the next few months. So let's see what this is about. The solstice takes place on Monday at 5:32 approximately, and that's Central European time. And the sun will move into the sign of Cancer. So this already tells us that we are moving into a time of more care for the family, more focused on home life. I mean, certainly here in the Northern Hemisphere, it's very much about the holiday season. Not that that might be very easy this year because of all the restrictions that we still have in place in various parts of the world. But I'll come to the energies that are affecting that in a little bit. But let's just look at this Cancer energy, because Cancer is about love. Cancer is about nurturing. This is a time, I feel, between now and the autumn equinox to actually nurture yourself, to take care of yourself, to be kind to yourself. That's why I think you should have a summer solstice wish, to actually wish the best for yourself for this coming kind of season. Now, Cancer is a cardinal sign. It's also about connecting with, it's a water sign, so it's about us connecting with water, nurturing, things that are soothing, that are calming. What can you do in your life to bring that in? How can you actually make a more nurturing environment for yourself and your family and your friends? We must never forget that there are many people out there that live alone, who don't even have families or not close families. I'm actually one of those people. So I very much rely on my amazing circle of friends that become like family. So this is about connecting with each other very much, this energy. It's about showing those in our family how much we care. So we have, the other thing about, which I want to say about Cancer, is it's a cardinal sign. So it's not just about sitting back and smelling the roses, although a little bit of that would really help too. It's actually about being quite proactive. But I think it's about being proactive it's almost about being proactive in the metaphorical kitchen. What can you prepare for yourself, for your future table, for the table of your life, for the ideas that you have that you would actually like to initiate? Now, I want to ask you a question. I'm just wondering how you've been feeling in the last couple of weeks. We've got some quite seriously challenging astrological energies. We're in the energy of the Saturn-Uranus square, which I've talked about in my YouTube videos. And this creates a tension. So I'm just wondering if you might be feeling overwhelmed. Because I think there's a lot going on in our lives at the moment to be overwhelmed about. If we look at the world stage, there's still a lot to push us into that state of overwhelm. When will this end? When will things change? When can we travel? So this solstice brings us to a kind of overwhelm crossroads. It really is a time where you can sink or swim. So I'm going to tell you what I mean about that. So what I've done is I've cast a chart for the exact moment that the sun enters Cancer. Now that chart shows us what the ascendant is for this event, which is Gemini, which is mutable. So Gemini tells me that it's very much about setting the scene for the next few months, is about communication, about social media, about news, information, about getting our point across, about being heard. So the sun in this chart, which of course is the important figure, if you like, for this event, the sun, which is all about our soul, it's about our inner being, it's about our health. It's in the first house, which is very much echoes that. It's about me, I am, who am I? How do I want to proceed forward in my life with the way that things have been so restricted? There is a very positive aspect from Jupiter, the planet of luck, opportunity and abundance, in Pisces. Now Jupiter is retrograde, but that's okay. I think that's okay with this one, because it's what we call, it's making a very gentle and good aspect to this sun in Cancer for the equinox. Sorry, for the solstice. And Jupiter, I feel, is giving positive thumbs up or heads up for travel. I still don't think that travel is going to be particularly easy. And I think that's because Jupiter is retrograde. So it's a bit like one step forward, two steps back. But I do feel it's going to be improving. Now let's just move on to see what other energies we've got for the solstice. We've got the planet Venus, which is the feminine, which is about value, about love, about relationship. And it's in Cancer, where the sun is. So this kind of makes it quite important. It's in the second house of this chart, which means it's about value, money, finance. But it's in opposition to a retrograde Pluto in Capricorn in the 8th house. Now, I'm going to explain what that means. Pluto is retrograde. That means we've got to go back over old ground. Capricorn is about institutions and structures and governments or governmental departments. Now, I think because it's the 8th, it's about other people's money. And what I feel that this opposition between Mars and Saturn is that, between Venus and Pluto, is that I've let down a sentence, my mistake, apologies. So Venus and Pluto is that we are going to see some financial kind of dips in the markets, in money markets, in investment markets. We're just going to keep seeing that again as we move towards the autumn. Now, the next sentence, which I leapt to, which I shouldn't have done, is about, this is what happens when you do live videos. You see, you can't just press stop, go back and edit it. But anyway, I shall just continue. So we have Saturn retrograde in Aquarius. And Saturn is about restriction and rules. Aquarius is about the internet, but it's also about higher-minded things and looking at things in a kind of, with a bigger picture. Now, Saturn in this chart is in the 9th house of travel. Opposite Mars, that is about action, energy, travel, or it's not actually about travel in that sense, but it wants to move, it wants to travel, and it's in Leo. But so what I feel this means is that it's going to be, we're still going to see these rules and restrictions. And I actually feel that this Mars energy, which can be about frustration and anger, is going to actually make people feel actually quite hot under the collar. I think over the next 2 or 3 months, we're going to see people losing their tempers. We're going to see sort of episodes in airports where people are going, you know, I demand my money back, I demand my rights, I demand this, because there's something about this energy which people just aren't going to be kind of feeling very, very comfortable with it. If we move on, we've also got the planet Neptune, which is about, often it can be about not seeing things clearly. And it's in Pisces, which is, it rules. So it's also about not always seeing things clearly and kind of no boundaries. And it's in the 10th house, which is very much about one's role in the world, one's public image. So I think this is about the public image of what's happening on the world stage now. But it is making a nice aspect to that Venus in Cancer in the 2nd. Now, the interesting thought that came up to me, because of course, Neptune is water, Pisces is water, so is Cancer. Venus is about, you know, it can be about money and relationship. And the thought that came up to me when I was doing these notes is that this is something about, through the summer, we're going to see the migratory problems coming back again. And it's just going to be there. So, because the Neptune can be the sea. And I do feel there's something about the sea, the ocean, in all of this. If we move on to Uranus, our planet of the unexpected, which is still in Taurus and will be for several years, it's going up, down, up, down. It's doing all sorts of things in there, bringing kind of surprises and shocks. It's in the area of the chart, for this chart, which is connected with our hopes and wishes. and it's squaring Saturn, that is retrograde, in the 9th house in Aquarius. Now, what that means is Saturn's going backwards. Saturn is about restriction and rules. The 9th house is about travel. But what I really felt with this particular aspect, and you'll have to look at how that reflects in your own personal lives, but I actually felt this was going to bring up the whole issue of the trade deals and Brexit again. It was just an intuitive feeling, and that there could be problems and blocks that are created between now and September, when we have the autumn equinox. The last aspect I want to talk about before I move on to your individual signs, to just give you a little taste of what this solstice is about for you, is that retrograde Saturn is also squaring the moon, which I haven't mentioned yet, that is currently in Scorpio in the 5th house. It's also squaring Mars in Leo. This makes what we call a kind of T-square, but it causes a kind of tension. It's almost like a stalemate. So you've got this Saturn squaring the moon. So that's a hard aspect. So that's like the moon in Scorpio wants to get all up close and personal and down deep into the depths. It's the 5th house. It wants to have fun. It wants to have some adventure. And you've got Mars in Leo, which is also squaring the moon, which is like it's like you want to have fun, but there's a price. I feel that people are going to be, when they're let out a bit more, this sounds really strange, but it's like people are going to go to extremes. That's what I really feel. I think people are going to go to extremes. I think as a collective, they have to be very careful, or we have to be very careful, because I think there's a tendency to rush and to speed up when actually we need to just slow down. I know it's tedious. I know it's getting us all down, that we can't move forward. But it's just the way it is for now. And if we're going to really eradicate this virus, then we've really got to just toe the line for longer. So when you feel overwhelmed by extraordinary events, all the extraordinary events that we're experiencing, and I'm sure you are experiencing on a personal level, what you have to do is kind of step outside of yourself. Kind of step outside of the events. Try and observe the bigger picture. And you know what's really important? It's really important not to lose sight of our ability to manifest a better future. We just have to send positive thoughts into the future for our own lives and the collective, and take time out and breathe. Because this time will pass. And if you're really, really struggling, you know what? That's actually a good thing, because it means you're growing. And that's a really good thing to remember. When you're struggling, when you really feel like giving up, it means you are growing. And that can only be good. And you know what? If you keep telling yourself you're successful, you're happy, that you have good health, then, you know, the law of attraction will keep giving you that. Because if you stay on that vibrational level of being in that good place, then it just helps manifest it. So That's what I've experienced too. That when I stay on that vibrational level of keeping, it's a bit like you say, keep your spirits up, but you know what? There's a truth in that. We do have to keep our spirits up. We do have to look for the positives in our lives when there are so many challenges and difficulties. Let's look at your individual signs. I'm just doing a very small bit for each sign. I just picked one aspect, and that's what I'm going to talk about. So it'll be like almost just a sentence for each sign. But for you, Aries, so what we have for you is that this is about you spending more time at home. I think you've been out and about, even if not literally, in your mind, you've been in other places. This is about you actually trying to come home to you. You've got retrograde Jupiter in your 12th house in Pisces. This is giving you an amazing chance, a really super chance to go within and find that growth I've just been talking about. I just think it's about, I just want to say, Aries, please come home. Come home to you. Taurus. So the energy of the solstice for you is in your 3rd house of communication. I think this is about you walking your talk, Taurus. With Jupiter in Pisces in your 11th house, making this nice aspect. Now, Jupiter's bringing lots of opportunities and a lot of luck with those opportunities. Jupiter is going to be bringing back some opportunities that you may have overlooked or you may have just kind of lost sight of. And you know what with this one? Don't. Go for those. Really important, Taurus. Gemini. So the focus for you, Gemini, for the next 2 to 3 months is really in your house of finance. And I think it's about you balancing the books and getting everything kind of in line. And that feels quite nurturing for you. I think it's about you just assessing where you've been, where you are now, and where you want to go to. Because Jupiter's in Pisces in your 9th house of travel. And I just think that you may be thinking about investing. Maybe if you can't invest in literal travel, you'll be investing in something that will educate you onto or into a new kind of way of thinking, a new psychology that will really help you communicate with more flow. Cancer. Of course, this is your time of year, Cancer. So it's always a probably better time for you than some of the other times of the year. And I think because we've got Jupiter making a nice angle to the sun, it's actually going to be giving you a chance to see where you can journey towards, what you can now bring in. I think you've been through quite a tough time, Cancer, and this is actually a chance for just some rest and recuperation and a bit of a breather. And I think your whole thinking, I do have to say this because I think the way you think about other things like the sort of the divine and life after death, all those kind of subjects is really going to change. So let's move on to Leo. So Leo, there's something here about your need to go within and work on you for a while. I think you're one of the signs that is getting overwhelmed because there's been so much in your life, especially with your career path that has been so busy and active. And I think it's overwhelmed you. And that's unusual for a Leo, because usually Leo can really stay on top. And it just feels that you need to actually listen to what others have to say and allow that wisdom of those that know just different to you, to allow that to come in and permeate into your being and how you can move forward. Virgo. So you have a chance now to have some really good, fun times with close people. People that are the most important people in your life. This is a beautiful energy for you. I think you're going to have a nice 2 to 3 months where the energy just allows you to sit back, have fun, and enjoy not only the people you love most, especially that special one, but good friends as well. How cool is that? Libra. So I think you're going to be focusing, when everyone else is looking at fun and play, you're going to actually be looking at your day-to-day routine and how you can make that more agreeable and workable to you. That may be with regard to just having fun, but I think it's more in how you structure things for the sort of the next probably 6 months rather than just the 3 months. And Scorpio, let's move on to you. So again, I think you are going to be looking to develop yourself on a kind of spiritual level in a much bigger way. It's like, I think you're going to be waking up and seeing things that you've never seen before in just really, really amazing way. And it feels like there are going to be opportunities coming for you, Scorpio, that enable you to get projects off the ground that have just been waiting in the wings. Okay, Sagittarius. So, Sagittarius, for you, I feel this is very much about transformation. I think you've got a lovely opportunity here to put some different energies and love into family life and how you connect with others, and it just feels that you need to spend some time, if possible, near water, actually, and just get out there. If you can get out on a boat, actually, even if it's a lake, or if you can sail a boat on a stream, or, you know, a sort of little toy boat, I just feel you need some real relaxation and recreation time. Capricorn. Okay. Well, the sun is highlighting your area, the area of your life connected with your relationships. And this is really going to shed some very good light on this. I think there's connections with people in your locality. So this is not being, involved with somebody that is at a long distance. I think there's going to be some lovely interaction with people that are much closer in your locality and really enjoying time with them, and maybe a little bit of romance. Aquarius. So this again is about your day-to-day routine. It's also about, what do you do? There might be something that you need to do more of that would help you make money. It feels like you need to be looking at opportunities, at money-making opportunities, and that some idea could come up for you over the next 2 to 3 months. And finally, we come to Pisces, because for you, of course, this is in your house. It's in your first house, Jupiter. And the sun in Cancer is in your 5th house. This is going to be a good 3 months for you, Pisces. You're going to be able to relax more, kick your shoes off, sit back, have fun. I just feel you'll be feeling better about yourself. I think you'll be feeling quite, what's the words, kind of just in that kind of higher place in yourself where you can see the bigger picture. And after going through, I think, quite a few months, quite a good few months of really a lot of overwhelm and a lot of difficulty, Pisces, I think the next 3 months are going to be much easier for you. So that's great. So I hope you've all managed to take something from what I've talked about today. It's an interesting time. I think it's useful to think about overwhelm, how it may have affected you, and to know that it's a state that if you go through it and look at the struggle and look at the growth that will come from that, somehow it enables you to manage the overwhelm in a better way so that it ceases to become overwhelm. And I'd like to say thank you so much for joining me for this rather spontaneous look at the summer solstice energies for Monday. And if you would like to have a one-to-one, as I said at the beginning, you can find my website address in the description box. Also, if you would like to subscribe to my YouTube channel, I would super love that too. And in the meantime, I wish you a great summer solstice, a great summer. And for people in the southern hemisphere, I wish you a great winter. It's really strange that, but there you go. So take care, everyone, and I look forward to seeing you next time. Okay, thanks. Bye for now.